Hello, everyone.
Happy Sunday.
Welcome.
Today we are going to talk about drink packages. And we see already from the comments, there's lots of debate and opinions about it. So we can't wait to get into that today.
Hi, we're Jill and Jerry, the Cruising Canucks.
Welcome to Banter Onboard, our new podcast. This podcast is recorded every Sunday afternoon if you want to join us live on YouTube.
Well, welcome, everyone. We are Jill and Jerry, the Cruising Canucks.
And this is our Sunday live show. But if you're listening to it in our podcast, you also know that you catch it on Monday on Spotify, YouTube podcasts, and just this week, Apple Music picked us up as well. We're all over.
We're everywhere, guys.
You can't get away from us. That might not be a good thing sometimes.
No kidding.
Because all we do is talk about cruise, vacation, cruise.
Yes, we might be known to have a one-track mind.
Exactly. So we're here. Bruno's also here, but we'll wait and see when he wants to make an appearance. He's still thinking about it over there. So he's staying off camera right now. We're sure that'll change eventually. We just did a Patreon call before this live.
Yes.
And so Bruno was saying hi to everybody there. So maybe he's tired from saying hi. So drink packages. There are so many different dynamics about drink packages in play now. It's no longer just, pay for a drink package. How many drinks do you drink? And does that make sense? That math is out the window because there's so many different options now. So we thought we'd kind of rip it apart and see what it's about. And some of you might be surprised. Some of you might not think that, well, I don't need a drink package because I don't drink any alcohol or not a lot. But there's times when the drink package rolled in with other things nowadays, it can actually be worth your while, even if you don't drink alcohol, because there's other things involved.
Right.
So we're going to talk about all that stuff.
Bottles of water.
Coffee, mocktails, pop, which I'm having today. So I guess I don't have the full drink package today.
We don't have the drink package today.
We just
water and pop going on down here.
We have the pop package today. So
we're getting prepped for the drink package. No.
Maybe. We've been debating. Part of the reason we didn't want to talk about drink packages is we spent this week discussing our upcoming cruise on the Volendam with Holland America, and we don't have the drink package or the have it all.
We didn't.
So we started doing the math. Should we get it? What will we spend on if we don't have a drink package? What are we going to spend versus how much is the drink package? And does it provide enough value to make that jump?
Right. So since we were doing that math and that debate, we thought we'll share it with all you guys and have your opinions come into it because it is something that we debate and talk about constantly when we're booking cruises. We have cruised successfully without drink packages many a years, probably almost 16 years without ever having a drink package. Now lately, because of the way cruise lines have switched it up, we've had them more often than not was what I was trying to get out there.
Remember the very old days when we started cruising? It wasn't that long ago, like almost a couple decades ago. There wasn't any drink package that we knew of. That used to be able to buy like tickets. You bought like 10 drink tickets, almost like going to like a stag and doe or like a community event where you bought tickets. You could buy
beer tickets or you could buy wine tickets. Yeah,
that used to be the drink packages back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
When we started cruising on Carnival.
So it's changed quite a bit since then.
For sure. Now it's all automatic. First update is our vlogs are coming out. Nothing really new there, except there's new videos coming out all the time. Yeah. We're still on the MSC ship. We are still having troubles in the dining room. We're still getting a few comments on YouTube that aren't very nice, but most of them are nice.
A lot of people think we were whining or complaining, but we were just trying to be honest and show that the experience was greatly different than what our first MSC experience was. So, I mean, we boasted and bragged about how well our seaside experience in last September was with MSC. And we had a different experience this time. And so we thought we have to tell the truth.
It's kind of hard to make it up when you're just like walking around the ship with the camera filming all the time. Really, what we see is what you kind of get. So there's no real bias there. It's kind of what the experiences are for us. So it's kind of real. Yeah. So we don't really go back and like take out the good stuff or take out the bad stuff. We just say, here's how our day went. And that's kind of how MSC's playing out. Yeah. I was working on the 4th video this morning. It should be out early this week. And we had a sea day, and we had kind of a funny day. We had a really good experience in the dining room for the dinner. We had a really kind of questionable
formal night. They stepped it up.
Yeah, we had a great time out on deck, but then we had a bit of a challenge at the buffet that we go through in the video as well. So there's still some challenges there. But every day, I think there was things in the videos that we had a really good time at, and things that frustrated us. A lot of it had to do with the dining. That's just the way it went on that ship. It didn't matter where we went. We see never frustration with the food part of the experience. Yes,
very crowded ship, so that made it hard for food.
Yeah. Crowded and loud. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's been coming out for our vlogs. And there'll be day 4. And then day 5, what was our first stop? Do you remember? Costa Maya, I believe, wasn't it? I think that'll be day 5 coming out almost a week from now.
Yes, that would be right.
And then after that, we're going to start running out of vlogs and we'll have to go back cruising again on Holland America.
Countdown is on.
Next thing up is, hold on, trivia, your favorite segment. Here's the question this week.
Ruth, wish me luck. I hope I do better than I did on Friday.
Speaking of trivia, I know you can already see the question. Don't look.
People's Googling it right now as you're sidetracked. So they'll know the answer.
That we have over on our Discord server, there's a little option you can play trivia, just one of those things that's available on kind of this chat site that we have for our patrons. And so a couple weeks ago, I was having a Friday night cocktail to end the week and kind of thought, I'm going to play some trivia for some time to kill. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of our patrons joined us and started playing along. We share what we were having to drink and nibbling on to kind of celebrate the start of the weekend. And it kind of has turned into a weekly thing because this past Friday, we did it again with everybody.
Yeah, so if you are one of our patrons and you haven't done so yet, join us Friday afternoon at 4:00 our time.
Yeah, it's kind of been this thing. It's not really been a secret. We just did it and other people are just catching on and doing it. So,
it's great fun, but it sort of makes me realize that I'm not so great at trivia. I'm definitely need a strong partner to play with because I would know a lot of the answers, but somebody else had it typed out or set into their phone way quicker than I could get it out.
So there you go. So there we go. We don't play trivia on the ship usually, but we seem to play it on Discord once in a while. So yeah. And so we have the trivia question. That's what we were. So what are the sister ships of Cunard's new Queen Anne ship coming out? And this is a trick question.
Oh, it's a sister ship of the Queen Anne.
Yes, sister ships. There are three of them. 3 of them. But none of them.
Can I phone a friend?
None of them are in the Cunard fleet.
What?
Yes, that shocked you. You have to know what kind of class of ship the Queen Anne is, and then you can figure it out.
Now I know, because I might have been doing some research on our upcoming Cunard cruise, and I did some training on Cunard cruise lines specifically. And there was a word that caught me for surprise when they were describing their cruise ships, and the word was pinnacle. So that's my clue to you guys. Am I right with giving that clue?
You are, and there's a little side story that the news kind of broke today in the background of the Instagram cruise world.
Oh.
So yes, Queen Anne is a pinnacle class ship. That's your hint to know what the sister ships are.
So pinnacle class ships are on Holland America. And I'm still right. I keep looking at them to make sure I'm saying the right thing. New Stondam, Rotterdam. There's a third one. Koningsdam, right? That we were on. Those are all pinnacle class.
And when the plans were laid out for Queen Anne, it was decided she was going to be a princess. I'll get this right.
Slow down.
It'll be a pinnacle ship. And at the time, the Koningsdam was the one that was out the most recent. So she technically is the closest sister to the Koningsdam.
Oh, really?
But then we've had the Rotterdam and the New Stotendam as well. So that is the tricky trivia of the week.
Tricky trivia of the week.
Now, it would be interesting to see. We're not going on Queen Anne. Paul and Carol are going on Queen Anne for the inaugural cruise. I think it comes out this week, May 3rd, next weekend, I think. And it'd be interesting to see if there's any resemblance of the interior to what the pinnacle ships are like the Holland America have, or whether just it's a kind of a foundational thing.
Yeah, because Holland America doesn't really have grand sort of atriums like Cunard does. So they must change the interior to sort of suit that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so Peggy has a couple she got in there.
Oh, yeah.
Roberta
says very tricky.
Very tricky.
Yeah,
so there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I knew we said that it had 3 sister ships. Everybody would think the 3 other Cunard ships, but yeah, they're all different classes of ships. So
wow.
I know they're sure if they're sisters or what they would be.
Cousins.
Cousin ships.
They're all from the same family.
Brothers.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the trivia. That's the stuff we come up with in our brains. At least one of us.
No, yeah, I was just going to say, it's not my brain, guys. It's his.
Okay, we'll get to a few comments, and then we're going to get to talking about the drink package. And the first comment that came in was, love your reviews, live Liberty of the Seas. They're watching our Liberty of the Seas, which I forgot we did so long ago. It's been 2 years since we did that review. A Royal Caribbean ship. And this person, Melissa and her husband, love Royal Caribbean. They want to know if we've done any other reviews about Royal Caribbean.
Unfortunately, we haven't. That's the only time that we've sailed Royal Caribbean together. I've done one other, and that was years ago, around 13 years ago, which was the Navigator of the Seas. But we weren't vlogging then, and I did that one with my mom. But so we definitely want to try to get back on Royal Caribbean ships and check them out. I'm not sure if we're going to go on the largest mega ones that they have, but
we have been looking at options. We're just trying to find a way to squeeze it in. It might even happen in 2024, but we're not sure yet. We're still looking at options.
We have a little gap where we're hoping to do a last minute and hopefully get a deal. But, those are harder and harder to find these days.
So maybe we'll be on Royal Caribbean before you know it.
Maybe.
Yes, to answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
Next question this was from Lise, is Ocean K an extra expense or on the cruise, or is it included?
Right. So the island itself, everything's included. You can spend money if you say you want to rent an umbrella or a cabana, but the chairs that we had under a palm tree was totally free. We didn't pay a penny for anything. The food venues are free. They do have a few paid options that you can go. Like, for instance, they have a seafood food truck that charges a few dollars for different things. It was very reasonable, like $4 for calamari, stuff like that. But the main buffet is free, and then they have other food trucks along the island that are all free also. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then you can rent jet skis if that's something you want to do. So you can spend money if you want, but we haven't. We've always and your drink package does work on the island, so that's nice because you can get cold water after snorkeling, like I like to do, and have a margarita with your lunch and have a great day.
Yes, answers that question.
Yeah.
Now the next one, we took the name out. We didn't want anybody to boo someone.
Oh, okay.
But the comment that came in was not enjoying the negative views or moods of these last videos. Talking about the MSC videos. Too much complaining. Come on, guys, snap out of it. Vlog about positive stuff. And given the opportunity,
we love to be positive.
But cruising, that's usually our go-to, is like, we're enjoying this no matter what happens. We'll roll with it. Even some of the stuff at MSC, I felt that we rolled with it. We told you about it because it happened to us, but it really didn't make us say, this is awful experience. It was like, oh, that was odd or strange or not like we're used to.
Yeah. So one of the main reasons that we started vlogging years ago was that we wanted to be able to show the positivity and how wonderful cruising is. And we just love cruising. We love traveling, and we feel very privileged to do it. And so we do definitely try to always promote the positive and not the negative, but we also feel like we are having to be responsible and be honest about what's happening too. So there's a balance that you have to play along that. I don't want people to say, you went on this cruise and it was wonderful and I had an awful time, Yeah,
and to that point, we've talked to so many people that said, oh, we tried this cruise ship or this cruise line because of watching your videos and we had a great time. The ones that make me feel uncomfortable is like, oh, we went on this ship and we hear a comment saying, but we really didn't have a good time. And it's one that we had a good time, and we're fearful that we sent them that direction and it wasn't the right cruise for them, right? Which is hard because everybody's different with what they like in a cruise. So it's hard for that to transfer across. But yeah, so we wouldn't want to go onto a ship and pretend we had a great time if we found problems that we thought might be the same thing, an issue for other people that want to cruise as well. Yeah.
MSC has lots of positive things going for it. We love their nightlife. We love the size of their cabins, how pretty a lot of their ships are. But if you are a foodie and food is a big part of your vacation, not the cruise for you, unless you're willing to spend huge money and be in going to specialty dining restaurants every night. That might be different. We haven't experienced that.
Or yacht club.
Because
there's a separate dining room there, which with probably service is more similar to what we're used to in other ships.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. So those are the questions and comments of the week. Mm-hmm. And now we're on to the drink package. Ooh, exciting. So first, let's define drink package.
Okay.
Because I feel that there's multiple different types of drink packages.
Well, and that's why it's a constant debate, even amongst us in our household and the amount of cruises we've been on. We have never paid for a drink package on Carnival, and yet we've cruised with Carnival 23 times. Now, we did have a drink package twice with them because one of their perks when they were trying to get people to go back to sailing was they were giving you the drink package as a perk if you booked. That was back when there was no ship sailing and you were just sort of giving Carnival money on the hopes that you'll get to go back on a cruise. So we did end up having the drink package twice. But out of 23 cruises, we did 21 without ever having a drink package.
Yeah. So And so Carnival and Royal Caribbean, those are two good examples of drink packages are purely drink packages.
Right.
And I guess we should define drink packages as far as there is alcoholic drink packages, which is the one we're generally talking about today.
Right.
There's also the non-alcoholic, which comes with mocktails, pop. Sometimes it's called a pop package.
Yeah.
So there is different types of beverages. There are some you can even get like coffee plans as well, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, and it used to be even, it's changed. Like it used to be that you could get on a ship and say, buy a big, huge case of water for relatively low amount of money.
Have it waiting for you in your room or delivered the day you get on. You could pre-order cases of water to your room.
Even that's getting harder to do. What you used to be able to bring on the ship for liquid used to be a lot easier than what it is now. Now I think you're allowed 12 cans per person is the limit. And that's just some cruise lines. Some
you're not allowed any that we learned with MSC. Nothing.
Some you're allowed to bring 2 bottles of wine or champagne, and some are nothing.
Yeah.
So by drink package, we're pretty well talking the alcoholic part of the drink package is when we're pricing it out. We've never purchased a pop package.
Yes, once on a Carnival.
Did we?
But that was when they first came out with them, and you only had to have one. Like it didn't matter that both people. So Mr. Canuck purchased the pop package, and I didn't have it, and so he drinks a lot more pop than I do. I might have had half of his pop every now and then, and that was it. But yeah, we did it once, but we didn't both have to purchase it. Now both people would have to have it.
Mm-hmm. So, and before we get too far down the road of defining drink packages and which ones are better or worse or so forth, I want to talk a little bit about, there is an option where you don't really have to buy a drink package, and that's because some cruise lines have it already included. Bruce mentioned earlier in the questions or the comments there that Oceania has already some drinks included. We went on a Marella cruise.
Yeah.
And everybody on the ship had the drink package. It was automatic.
All inclusive.
You book the cruise and it's all included.
So unlimited drinks. And then you could pay extra if you wanted like premium wines, premium liquors in your Cosmos, that sort of thing. But yeah, it was included in the price of your fare to have unlimited drinks. Yeah,
for sure. And so you got to factor that in when you're doing the price of the cruise. And if, say an average drink package can range between $50 and at least $80-$90 a day. You figure out that's on a 7-day cruise, that's getting close to $1,000 for a couple. Maybe you can book an all-inclusive cruise for $1,000, $1,500. Like it might be in the same price range as booking the cruise line that you have to pay for a drink package.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I wanted to kind of point out, that you might be able to get away with doing that. I got a tickle in my throat. I think it's gone. So, and when we're talking about drink packages, they're not all equal as well. We've learned the hard way, maybe, I don't know if there's a hard way, but we've learned that what is included with, say, just a drink package, so not extra perks, on one cruise line is not included on another cruise line. That's always caught us by surprise.
So the biggest glaring difference, what pops into my head is, I drink a lot of water during the day, and having the drink package on Norwegian, it does not include bottles of water. So you're not allowed to get bottles of water on Norwegian. You can go to a bar and they'll just pour you tap water and put it in a glass for you if you ask for water. So yeah, there's different things. Like they all have their own little pluses and minuses, in my opinion.
Yeah, some include, let's say, specialty coffees, and some don't.
Right.
Some have like a Starbucks on board that doesn't include.
That would be a different package than if you had already pre-purchased an alcoholic package or have it all package.
Some include cans of pop, where others are only fountain pop.
That's true.
It's kind of an odd, quirky one.
Yeah, that is true.
We were on a cruise, I think it was Holland America once, where one size of bottled water was included. The other size of bottled water was not included.
That's true.
So that's an odd one that caught our attention. And the other thing that caught our attention, especially on MSC, was that usually when you get a drink package, there's like a price limit. You're going to have all drinks up to this value, whether it's $10, $15, whatever that value is. We found some cruises that doesn't count for everything.
Right. So for instance, the MSC, if you have the basic easy drink package, you're only allowed one beer, which is Heineken. But even though all the other beers retail for what your price limit is for that cocktail, on a cocktail menu or whatever, you're not allowed to have like a Blue,
Coors Light, Bud Light,
any of those sort of type of things.
Even though they're less than what the highest level for your drink package covers, it didn't cover that beer. We're still not sure why.
Yeah,
it's very confusing to us. Yeah,
it is.
So so not all drink packages are going to be equal. So if you go from cruise line to a different cruise line, don't expect what you got on that cruise line for the drink package to expect to work on the next one.
Yeah,
we've kind of found that out, and you have to do a little bit of research, and even how much the drinks are worth. Some basic drink packages, they cover almost all drinks. Other ones, they have a limit. Some you can buy multiple tiers of drink packages, the basic, the mid, the high range. A lot of them have 2 different levels. So yeah, so that some of them are a little bit strange. Brew keeps touching me. Okay, so strategic thinking about drink packages. This is where we get into, do I need a drink package based on the situation I'm in on the cruise?
Right.
So one thing that we like to consider is sea days. How many sea days do you have?
Right.
So how many days are going to be on land, walking around doing things and not even on the ship? Maybe you have a port intensive cruise, and the drink package, all you're going to have is be on the ship maybe for the evenings, and is it going to be worth your value?
That's right.
So that's one of the things. Like we went on a European cruise with Carnival. One of the ones we did not have the drink package.
Right.
We had to stop every single day, and we didn't miss the drink package because we were pretty well just getting back on the ship like a hotel to have some dinner and relax, then go to sleep for the next port.
Right.
So we didn't really feel we needed the drink package. Or there's some, I'm thinking for people that are doing like to Hawaii or transatlantic or trans-Pacific, or
you're more on the ship.
Yeah, maybe you're going to be around the ship on a lounger, having a drink from the bar. Maybe you're going to drink more drinks per day, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
So you need to factor that in as one of the things. Also, port options. So some ports, especially in the Caribbean, you can go to islands and you can book kind of like all-inclusive packages there where you can go to the beach, you can have some food, you can have some drinks. And that might be worth your while to do that. If you just want to have a couple of days where you have a good time with a bunch of drinks and you don't need to have drinks every day, that's a way to kind of supplement a drink package.
We did that many a times when we were cruising with Carnival. We would say go to Mr. Sancho's resort or Nachi Kokum, those places, and pay for an all-inclusive beach day with them. And so for the, at that point, $50 or $55, I think they've all gone up since we've done them. You could have all the food you want and all the drinks you want. And then you're like, okay, I don't really want to drink anymore the rest of the cruise because I did drink throughout the day.
Yeah,
that day.
So you have to factor that in. And obviously the big factor that a lot of people do the math on is how many drinks per day am I going to drink?
Right.
But the secret is don't just think alcohol. So don't think, okay, I only drink 2 or 3 drinks a day and it's like a glass of wine and a couple of drinks in the evening. That's all I drink. Because that's kind of where I'm at a lot of days now. But if I add up all the bottles of water I have, and then there's also specialty dining or specialty coffees that people have, you could easily get into 6, 7, 8 drinks a day if you factor in all of the drinks.
Oh, yeah.
And when you start doing the math there at somewhere between $5 and $10 a drink, when that's being conservative, you're quickly up to $50 to $75 a day you would pay for drinks. So then maybe the drink package starts to be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense? Okay. What packages have more value than just a drink package? So now we're getting into the package part of drinks.
So this is where the value added tends to be than, say, going on a Carnival or Royal Caribbean where your drink package just gives you drinks. But Princess, Holland America, so many others, they have more than one thing in their packages. Yes, you may get drinks, but you may get internet. Some give you a credit for excursions. Some give you a credit for specialty dining. Some include tips, all of those things.
Yeah. So there's the package thing that's going on. And that's when it gets really tricky to price things out.
That's when we have the debate with the math.
Yeah. And that was kind of where we were this week, right? Like, so if I'm doing the math on a drink package and I'm going on Royal Caribbean or Carnival and my drink package is $55 or $65 a day, and that's all it's going to cover is my drinks, I'm having a real tough time justifying it. Be honest with you, I probably would never book a Carnival drink package for that reason.
Right.
If money was a factor, it would never be an option.
Yeah.
And then kind of feel that way about Royal Caribbean as well, just because the same thing, it's only the drinks that are included. Although I do hear Royal Caribbean sometimes discounts their drink packages.
Yeah, we've been told that if you book a Royal Caribbean cruise, just keep going back to their website frequently because they often will put on weekend sales of their drink packages. We haven't seen that or been on enough Royal Caribbean cruises to make that happen.
Yeah. So when you get into the packages, it gets really tricky because every cruise line has a different version of their package. So they're not all equal.
Right. Like,
for example, Celebrity, I believe their drink package includes Wi-Fi, and that's it. On Princess, the drink package always includes the crew gratuity.
Which is a big expense, especially if you're on a longer cruise.
Yeah, you're getting up there at almost $20 a person for some of these cruise lines per day.
Yeah.
For the gratuities. So that's pricey right there. So that's a lot of value just in that's included.
Yeah.
And then you've also got the specialty dining, and internet's become really expensive on the cruises. That's one of the things the last couple of years I've seen go up drastically. You used to be able to get away with an internet package for $100 to $150, and that was a good one. It's easily now to spend $250 on a 7-day cruise for one person for the decent internet.
It's crazy, the cost of internet on a cruise ship.
Like at that price, you're about $20 to $30 a day just for your internet. So when you're talking about some of these packages are $50, $60 a day, half of the value could be the internet. But I guess what I wanted to say is, when you do the packages, though, you need to be realistic about, would you actually pay for those things in the first place?
Right.
Just because it comes with it, you want to make sure that you're getting the value. So if you're not someone who uses the internet, maybe the package isn't worth it.
Maybe it is, yeah.
If you don't want to go to specialty dining and you don't really care less about that, you enjoy the dining room, that might not be worth it. You're not going to get off the ship at all during the trip. You're not going to use a excursion credit. Might not be worth it. So you kind of need to look at the what's included. As, will you actually use that? Is it a nice to have or is it a must have? And that's the debate we had this week.
Right. So for us, we have gone on cruises where we haven't had the internet package, and we've just been able to sort of do internet when we've been at land base. But now, since we're vlogging and so in the social media world, we kind of need to have it every day, every cruise.
Yeah.
So that's already a big expense for us. Yeah, sorry.
Brutal's trying to get some kisses in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was kind of the debate we were having this week with our upcoming Holland America cruise, is we don't have to have it all booked. And we originally thought, let's save some money. We are going to get the package that included pop, water, and mocktails.
Yeah, just have a non-alcoholic package for a drink package, because we like a lot of you have already said in the comments, it's nice to have something and you don't have to be worrying about, was I able to pre-order water, or I've got to go 5 flights of stairs to go to the buffet restaurant to fill up my water bottle, that sort of thing. So we thought, well, let's just try doing it with a non-alcoholic package where we can have coffees and non-alcoholic drink and pop, that sort of thing.
Yeah, because it's nice to go to a lounge somewhere, listen to music, and just have a drink in your hand. Doesn't matter whether it's a pop or a water or it's a martini, or you've just been up on the dance floor and you come back and you want to have a nice...
It will matter if you have too many martinis. So.
Yeah, it could matter. Maybe.
Depends on how many martinis you're having.
But yeah, and I guess that's the other dynamic of the drink package world, is we know from cruising without drink packages for 20 cruises that our approach to cruising changed when we had a drink package.
Yeah. It's more relaxing. And I mean, it is, because you're not sort of like, Jerry and I would be on a Carnival cruise, for instance, in the comedy club, and not have a drink package. And so you're either thinking, okay, do I order something now and pay what it is here? Or do I run up to the room and get one of the bottles of water that they allowed us to bring on the ship? Or do we go to the buffet and get a tea and a coffee? Like, you're constantly thinking, instead of just, oh, there's a waitress. Oh, can I just have a glass of ginger ale, please? So it is more relaxing to know that it's already prepaid and pre-looked after, and if you feel like a glass of pop, you can have a glass of pop, or if you feel like a glass of wine with your dinner, you can.
Yeah,
so there is a convenience.
I feel that at times we would avoid some of the lounges only because we thought, well, we don't have the drink package, there's not much going on in there. Like, we wouldn't even bother going in there because everybody's in there having a nice drink and a good time, and you're like, I don't want to go up and get my bottle of water and go sit in there. And
right.
But with the drink package, it feels like the whole ship opens up to you, and all of a sudden you can go sit down anywhere and order a beverage, talk to people, kind of get a feel of the ship. A lot of the drinks are themed to the specific bars and areas of the ship, so it's a different experience. Right. And it's not just about the alcohol, because you can get the mocktails and everything else, and it's a different experience. So,
right.
So kind of getting back to our situation this week, we had talked about a non-alcoholic drink package. Remember how much it was? It was a decent amount of money.
Yeah, I forget now off the top of my head, but.
I want to say that it was in the neighborhood of, it would have been $450 American for us to get the drink package for 2 of us combined. I think that's
I think that's Canadian, because I think it was 160 or something American. I guess we should have had this.
I've got it right here.
Oh, okay, you do. Okay, good.
So it would have been $250 is what it would have been.
Per person, or for the 2 of us?
I think per person, that is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to do the math in my head. Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Okay.
So anyways, we were thinking, okay, so we were going to pay for that, and that was going to be several $100s.
We were going to pay for the internet.
And we thought, for the internet, if we're paying for it, we're not going to get both of us to have it. So we'll get just one of us. That was $250. So now I'm up to $500 for my internet and for my drink package that doesn't include any alcohol. And then we weren't going to do specialty dining because we didn't want to pay extra for that. We weren't going to pay for any excursions either. So we're at $250. We did think that we might get on and we might buy ourselves a wine package so we could have a bottle of wine at dinner. And so the wine packages, are about $120 is the starting one for 4 bottles of wine. So at that point, now we're up to like $620 we've paid. And we know that to get the Have It All package is $770. And it was going to cost us $620 for the bare minimum of what we were going to pay getting on the ship. Now we're at the debate of, okay, we're $100 and some odd dollars and we could have the Have It All. That would now include both of us having internet. Include the excursion credit we could both have. We could have some specialty dining, and we can go to any lounge in the ship and order a drink, water, coffee, and it's all included. And I think for $100 and some odd dollars, that was a really good idea. We haven't booked it yet, but that's, I think, the way we're leaning is that way. And I see lots of comments and questions coming in. We're definitely going to get back to everybody's questions too. So that's been our debate this week is, do we do it? Now, if you're going on a Princess cruise, you have a different debate.
Yes.
So Holland America, you still have to pay for your gratuities. Although I will tell you, if you watch closely, several times a year, Holland America will include the crew appreciation, the tips, in the Have It All package. So if you can get that deal, then definitely book it if you're thinking booking Holland America. But it only happens a few times a year, so you have to watch for it. Because you think about that's at $40 a cabin for a 7-day cruise, that's another $280. So if the crew appreciation, I think Dawn said this earlier, if the crew appreciation is included and you're going to have even one device on the internet and you're going to order anything on the ship, the drinks are almost free.
Yeah.
Like, because the other stuff that you're going to get in it, that you could go on there and drink just water and pop and coffee, never order an alcoholic drink, and you're still going to get more value than what you paid.
Right.
So yeah, Holland America does have a really good package. Princess is different because it has the gratuities included. So there's a big chunk of money. But what they don't have is they don't have the specialty dining.
Or excursions.
So you got to balance the two out. You save some money in one spot, but if you're going to do those things, you may pay for the other. So, what's my last talking point I've got here?
Man, he's
Woo!
He's on a ball. Tell you, he needs to slow down and take a breath.
So, yeah, and I just mentioned the last point, what I just talked about, the appreciation for the crew could be a tipping point. But really, what you need to do is, we actually did this this morning, as we sat down, had our morning coffee. I sat down and said, okay, let's price out all these things that we know we're going to use. And then what's that going to be compared to the package? And you can easily do that. Say, okay, we're definitely going to need internet. We're definitely going to do a specialty dining. We're going to do an excursion somewhere. Add up what you think you're going to do before you go on the cruise. And then compare all that to what the package costs. And you might find out that you're going to get more value for less money. Or it might give you the same price, but you're going to have more perks in it, like we're figuring out for Holland America.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you cruise and how you're going to use it. But we have cruised with family and friends that have booked the Have It All, or no, the Princess Plus on the wedding cruise. Who do not drink alcohol at all, but they had value in it. They still got value because all the other perks combined, plus coffee and water.
They did order some mocktails a few different times, that sort of thing. But yeah, exactly. Included the gratuities for their cabin and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's one of the comments that came in earlier. Say, I don't drink, so I'm not going to get a drink package. On the ones that include the bigger packages of more than drinks, it's definitely worth a second look if you haven't looked, because
sometimes
it can be, especially if the crew appreciation fare is in there. That's an automatic, like it's almost worth it for right at the bat. So that's our little bit of a spiel about drink packages. And I do see some comments and questions, so I'll throw them in there now. We'll talk to everybody about what they're thinking.
Okay.
If you want me to scroll in to where your spot is. Oh, Bruce touching me again. He's very touchy today. Okay, where did it start up here? I saw some questions here earlier. And I will go to the first one I can see is, I'm not sure this is drink package related, but the first question I see is Franz.
Okay.
At 2:45. She says, hi from Victoria. It's a little chilly today and appreciates our thoughts on ship. Wanted to know if we've ever been on Norwegian, because she's looking at 2025 Northern Europe on Norwegian.
We have sailed with Norwegian 5 times. Am I right? 2, 4. I believe 5 times. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Norwegian. We've had really good experiences with it. We have had their package included every time we've gone with them, because they are one of the first ones that used to include the specialty dining and that sort of perks in there with them. But yes, we've cruised with them. We've had wonderful time. Do you want to say something about it?
I could say stuff, yeah.
Yeah, please. Instead of playing with the dog.
The Norwegian experience was one of our first, if not second, experiences away from Carnival when we were doing a lot of Carnival. So it felt different than Carnival. It felt quieter than Carnival. for sure, which we thought at the time was a good thing. We thought maybe this is our style of cruising more than kind of the loud stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed the food, but we had kind of a break away from Norwegian. We did their smaller ships, and then we did the Epic in Europe, and we fell in love with Norwegian all over again because we had a wonderful experience. The dining was amazing. One of the best dining room experiences I've ever had on a cruise ship was on the Epic over the Mediterranean.
Yeah, we had phenomenal meals.
And even the feel around the ship, the entertainment, we had a wonderful time. And it's really funny because we had credits from COVID credits from cruise cancellations that we had to use up. That's why we booked the Epic. We really didn't book it because we were dying to do Norwegians, because we wanted to get some value for our credits that we had. So we said, let's just book this one. It's cost effective. Let's go on it and use the credits up, and we'll try Norwegian. And we went in with no expectation, and we came out thinking, wow, this was really good.
It was definitely a memorable trip for sure.
So don't be afraid to book Norwegian. We've had a good time on it. I think and they've tried to kind of step up their experience Norwegian.
Yeah.
Between their newer ships and the venues that they have now and their dining, they've revamped. Their price has also gone up as a result, but there is some value for the increased price.
Right.
I think that's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
Joel and Jen, question.
If my drink package allows 15 drinks per day and I drink 12 on any given day, am I still only allowed 15? Yes, it resets. It resets on every day.
I like the way they...
But you can't sort of build up because otherwise we'd have to have like 75 at the end of the cruise.
I like the way they think, though. I think that's a good plan. Mm-hmm. You got to balance out your drinks. Right?
Yeah. There have been sometimes when we've had the drink package, we've been at port, for instance. I know I might have only had, 2 drinks that evening. And so, obviously didn't go near to my 15 drink limit. And then there's some more days where it's a sea day and you're drinking throughout the day and into the evening and you're having more. But yeah, they don't reset.
So, and also,
or it does reset, I should say.
This story will probably trigger some comments about how to use the drink package from Mrs. Canuck, but I have never maxed out my drink package. I've never hit the 15 limit, even though I've had waters and everything else thrown in there and all kinds of drinks. Someone else actually maxed out her drink package once.
I did. And it wasn't because I drank 15 drinks, everybody. It was because I'm generally the one that's going to the bar and getting us a drink because Jerry's busy filming or doing something. And so even though I was giving them both cards, they were often just using the one card. And so one day I checked my bill and I had a bill for a drink on it. And so I contacted guest services and I said, I got charged for a drink and I have the drink package. And they said, oh, it's because you had 16 drinks yesterday. I said, trust me, I wouldn't be standing here at 8:30 in the morning with you if I had 16 drinks yesterday. Anyways, I said, can you check my husband's account and see how many drinks he had? Oh, he only had one. I'm like, yeah.
I was a good boy.
That's not the case. So we had both had somewhere in the neighborhood of half a dozen drinks. And between pop and water and coffee and all that with our alcoholic drinks in the night. And they...
And we do get that question a lot. I say from younger people, fair to say, of 15 drinks, there's no way I'll go through that every day and I'll run out of drinks, right? We really have never run out of drinks. And you've seen we have drinks in the evening, we have drinks with dinner, we have drink around the pool. We've never had that be a barrier to us ordering drinks. The 15 has never come into play.
No.
Except the one time.
Except that time.
Yeah. Oh, and Steph is saying that on last trip, on the New Amsterdam, they booked the Have It All package with the cruise fare, and it was cheaper that way than booking it with the cruise fare after booking. So they're saying that it was cheaper to book it after. So like the standard price for it is $55 per day per person is the price. So I'm not sure, maybe with the pricing before it was more, but yeah, there can be a difference in there, but yeah, usually that's what the price is. Do you see another question?
Aubrey and Steve.
Aubrey and Steve.
Right there. You just scrolled past it.
I went by Aubrey and Steve.
There you go.
There they are.
Are we the only ones willing to drink the cabin sink water? Ooh. Have you ever drank the cabin sink water?
I would say that I probably went on at least a dozen, if not 24 cruises before I finally gave in to drinking the water in the sink. Because I was very paranoid about it. I was very afraid. I'd heard things and everybody's like, don't drink the water on the ship and all this stuff. When we were new to traveling in general, especially cruising to Mexico with some of our first cruises.
I have done it many a times, but not you.
I've drank out of the sink. Yes.
My biggest concern about it in the getting water from your cabin to drink for me was the issue was I could never get it cold enough. I like ice water and, and it used to be when we first started cruising, you never had to ask for an ice bucket. It was always there. There was always ice in your room. Now you have to ask. And I hate having to ask them if I can have ice in my room because I feel like they're so overworked and so busy that I'm making them do something extra that they, so unless I really need it, like I have used it when I've had an injury and I need it to ice a part of my body. But yeah.
I see another question from Joel and Jen.
Okay.
They're very worried about the limit.
Okay.
So they want to know that if like one of them maxes out their 15, can they start using the other person's?
Yeah, I believe so.
Technically, you can regulate that yourself.
Yeah, just make your wife go order for you or switch out the cards or medallions or whatever.
Yeah, and it's we've
seen people do that.
We've even had experiences where we've seen where we'll be at a dinner table and we'll order drinks and they'll just take one card.
Yeah.
We're like,
and that's people not even sharing the cabin with us.
Yeah, and then one thing, did they put everybody's drinks on there and everything else? We've still never had a problem, but you should probably watch if you're with multiple people and you notice that happening, keep an eye on your app to see what your drinks.
Well, and I would say where they normally do that is like, for instance, we've had that happen to us a lot when we've been on Norwegian cruising with friends. They would just take my card for the whole table of 6 of us. But there's no drink limit on Norwegian. It doesn't matter if you have 2 drinks or 60 drinks. They don't charge you. It's an unlimited alcoholic drink. You just can't order a bottle of water. Anyways.
Yep. So yeah, so you can kind of regulate that yourself, but you should keep an eye on it. And I'm just trying to think. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody that went down to the main desk, the front desk, and said, "Hey, I've been wrongfully charged for a drink or something's wrong here," that they haven't taken it off. They're usually very accommodating, that you can go down there and you can drink 20 drinks the night before and say, "I didn't drink 5 of those." They'll probably take them off.
The one time I had an issue was I had a charge for $25 for a high quality tequila drink. And I sort of investigated and they said, "Oh yeah, you had a margarita with such and such an alcohol in it." And I'm like, "Well, I definitely didn't order a margarita with that alcohol in it. I just ordered a margarita." And so without question, they took it off.
Mm-hmm. Jules making a comment saying that we get converted to US to Canadian. It definitely is a hit with facing all the extras.
So true for us.
The secret is just price out all your travel in American dollars and just don't worry about it. Let the credit card figure it out, because it feels like a lot less money if you just book it in American dollars.
But it is true. We're constantly converting in our head. We're so with you, Julie.
Walter wants to know how you could go in Holland, America without going to the Pinnacle. I believe you missed a word. Pinnacle Grill.
Oh yeah.
Saying you have to have the clothesline bacon.
Yeah,
it's delicious.
Sure.
Mrs. Canuck has never ordered it.
I've never had it because I'd rather have seafood because I don't get that at home, and I can get bacon at home. But it does look delicious. I've been very envious every time Mr. Canuck has ordered it.
And Ruru, quick question here: which ship do you prefer? In which the food tastes best? So, what ship do you think has the best food? That's a tough one because like all the venues are different. All the meals are different. Some have better breakfasts.
I mean, food is such a subjective question for sure, because what Jerry loves to eat is total opposite of what I love to eat. For me personally, I believe that Holland America has the best food. And Princess is a very close second out of the cruises that we've done. I mean, we haven't gone on Celebrity. We haven't gone on Oceania. I've heard that as a mayor, the food is out of this world. But out of the cruises that we've done, I would rank Holland America as number 1 for my favorite for food.
It's funny because I think one of the best food experiences I've had on a ship recently, if I figure breakfast and dinner more so than lunch, it would have been the Norwegian Epic. Phenomenal dinner options and huge menu. Breakfast was really good when we had breakfast at the dining room. Lunch is a little more restrictive on Norwegian, but they fixed that on the newer ships.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah,
that would be my answer. And Bruce brings up an interesting point. Drinks do not set at midnight. So
no, it doesn't. If you've had 15 drinks and you're waiting for 12:01 to happen, they're not going to serve you. It doesn't reset until the next morning.
Paulie Morgan would love that one. Oh, and see if any more questions here. Bruce has a question about water. Is the buffet water filtered more than the sink water?
Great question. I'm not sure. It's generally cooler temperature. I can tell you that from experience.
Yeah, I really doubt it. Only reason I doubt it is I've seen waiters in the dining rooms, even like Holland America to Carnival, all I kind of watch all these things going on. And I've seen them walk over with the water jugs and put some ice in it and walk over and turn the tap on and fill them up.
Yeah.
It makes me think that all the water that's in the plumbing system on the ship is all the same water.
Yeah.
As far as I know. I don't know about the toilet, but as far as I can tell, the water that comes out of all the taps is the same. I don't know for sure if that the little stations that you get water at there's an extra filter in there. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. If
Bruce finds out, he'll let us know. And we never get bottled water. We always drink the cabin water, is what Ken is saying. And Ken is still alive to tell us about it, so it must be safe. Yeah, so here's a comment. This is an interesting strategy that I've seen before. We've used this for like planning for excursions the next day, saying that a vlogger on Princess Cruises took cans and bottles back to the cabin at the end of the day to get their money's worth.
Like cans and bottles of beer, I'm thinking they must be referring to.
We really don't do it for the point of getting our money's worth so much as we're thinking we're getting up in the morning, we're going on the private island, we want to have the bottles of water or whatever, and we'll grab a few extra the night before.
Yeah, so if we're cruising and we're going to Holland America's private island, we know our drink package doesn't work there. We make sure that we have 2 cans of water each that we take off with us so that we have canned water while we're there.
Joel and Jen are saying they drink doubles every day. So they only get 7.5 drinks on the drink package. And sometimes with doubles, I find that we've done doubles here and there, whether it's a double size of wine or whether it's a double in a cocktail. And sometimes they ding you for 2. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Depends on the bar staff, so forth.
It does.
Yeah. So it helps to tip your bar staff because good things happen. And I just try to think, is there anything else here? Christine's saying that she booked to have it all going to Hawaii. All those sea days for sure. Plus it included the crew appreciation. So like we said, that works.
That makes it worth it. Yeah.
And hi from the beautiful Caribbean Princess. We're at Princess Keys today. This is Sheila.
Oh.
There we go. Perfect weather. There you go.
Nice.
Wish I was there.
Yeah.
My hands are cold right now.
Nice.
There we go. And Donna's saying that she thinks the best food is Holland, Princess, and Norwegian.
No, well, she put Norwegian second. So do you think that's her Holland first, Norwegian second,
Well,
and then Princess?
I'm not sure if she was ranking it or not.
If Jerry had to vote, which he never did, I thought he would after I gave you mine. I'm pretty sure you'd say Princess just for the chicken nuggets and meatloaf, right?
Yeah, but as good as they are, I don't know if I'm looking at the overall dining picture.
Oh, you said it, the epic. I forgot. You did.
Yeah. And Nathan is saying that first time booking a Princess cruise, they got the premier package. They like the idea of having the all-inclusive feel. Love the photo package. That's a big one.
We forgot to mention that because that is a huge one. They didn't have that when our daughter got married. They didn't have the premier package then. And all I kept thinking, because we spent, or I should say my daughter spent thousands of dollars on her wedding photos. But had she had the premier package, it would have been phenomenal for all of us. We could have got as many family photos on her wedding day as we wanted, and it wouldn't have cost her an arm and a leg.
Jack brings up an interesting point. We've kind of run into this a little bit, saying that depending on your port of embarkation, a drink package might not work or it might be modified. We were coming out of Galveston one time. We wanted to buy the wine package on board a ship.
Yes.
And we couldn't get a bottle of wine because we only get it by the glass.
Yeah, that's right.
So there is funny little rules.
There were rules. And we got to a certain point. It was sort of midway through our dining room time where they said, okay, we're allowed to sell you the wine package now.
Once you hit international waters, all bets are off. Yep. Another thing to note too, that sometimes some cruise lines, and it seems to be a real random thing, that if you're drinking on the drink package while you're in port, often on embarkation, you'll be charged tax on your drinks.
So Norwegian does that for sure. So for instance, when we've gone like out of Tampa, for instance, we took Tampa, a Norwegian cruise out of Tampa, and we got on, we were one of the first ones on because we like to get places early, and we had 2 or 3 drinks before sail away. We were on at 11:30, and between 11:30 and 4:30 we had a few drinks. And then I noticed the next day we had like a 62-cent charge, $1.09, stuff like that, and it was for the taxes of the cocktails that we had while we were still at port in Florida.
Yeah, so that's happened. I'm pretty sure that happened to Paul and Carol when they went out of Miami on a Carnival ship too.
Really?
They had a whole bunch of little tiny taxes. I think that happened too. So So yeah, you got to watch out for that as well. So
Princess or Holland America does not do that to our experience.
No, we've never seen that. No. Not on those ships. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have reached the end. We are over time now, but it was a good chat about drink packages. Hopefully you'll learn something. Hopefully we learned something. And we are back again next weekend.
We are.
On Sunday afternoon at 2 again.
We are.
And if you're listening to this on the podcast, then thanks for catching up with us later in the week. And hopefully we see you live next week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all. Any last comments about drinking?
No.
No. Hopefully this week we'll get to booking our Have It All on our next Holland America cruise coming up in a few weeks.
No.
I think we've talked ourselves into it.
I think we have. Thanks for joining, everybody. And please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that. You can only comment on our lives if you are a subscriber. So that's a little way to communicate directly with us.
Okay. Have a good week, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Bye.